In this tutorial, we're going to take you for a test drive with Quigler. And you're going to be able to look under the hood and you're going to be able to really get to know the tremendous transparency that it's going to give you into everything you and the agent are required to do during the transaction. So to start, go to Quigler.com and click the Login tab. And you will come to this login. Put the email and the password you used to create your account. And then you will arrive at your transaction dashboard page. And here you'll find New Test Drive. Going forward, by the way, you will also find all your transactions here. Any of them that you may have opened up, whether you're a buyer or seller or whatever. But right now, just click on Test Drive. The first question we're going to ask you is whether you are a buyer and a seller. And it's very important because the steps and the actions are different whether you're a buyer and a seller. Totally so. Then the second question we're going to ask you is we need to know what kind of property you are interested in either selling or buying, whether it's a single-family condo, co-op, or multifamily, because once again, the steps and the actions are going to vary depending upon the type of property that you are selling. And then finally, we're going to ask you where the property you are selling is located, or if you're a buyer, what area are you searching in? Just put in the state and the city because, again, all 50 states have different steps and actions for each transaction. Now, if you live in a big city, we're also going to ask you the area. In particular, if you live in New York City, we need to know this for a very specific reason. There are two real estate organizations in New York City. The Real Estate Board of New York is the largest in New York City with approximately 13,000 members. And they have a different code of ethics from the National Association of Realtors, which is the largest trade association in the United States with 1.2 million members. So each one has got different steps and actions. Now, if you live in Manhattan, the chances are overwhelming you will be using an agent who belongs to the Real Estate Board of New York. So click Manhattan, and then we will make sure that you get their code of ethics and their steps of actions, in addition, by the way, to the federal and the state, which they are obviously required to comply with. If you live in Staten Island, the chances are overwhelming you will have an agent who is with the National Association of Realtors. But they too will be required to comply with all the federal laws and with the state laws. So just let us know here where you live. Now, if you live in Brooklyn or Queens, those areas have got some agents in one organization and some in the other, but it doesn't matter at this point. Just tell us where you are. Eventually, whenever you decide to invite an agent in and choose one, that agent will then connect you and you'll be on the same page with regard to which code you guys are following. Then just click View Steps and Actions, and the most familiar screen that you are going to see over and over will pop up. This is the screen that on the top shows you the various steps of the transaction from left to right, starting with pre-listing activities and ending with step 10, which is closing, escrow closing. Now, when you want to see what the specific actions are, you just click on the step, and then under it, in green, the specific actions are going to show up. In this case, pre-listing activities starts with contractual information, and then service outside residential, and so forth. So this is where you're going to be coming to. Now, at this point, right now, there is nothing for you to do other than to look at this, and it's informational only. Go through each one of the steps so you get an overview of the transaction. Under each one, you can click and see what your agent is required to do. Now remember, these are all actions for your agents, not for you, even when it's something that you are required to do. Because if you're required to do it, we ask the agent, did you remind or did you tell the consumer that they are required to do this at a particular time in the transaction? So right now, this is somewhat static and informational only. It's not interactive. Once you and an agent are connected, it will become very interactive and you'll be getting lots of notifications. Now, if by chance you did not fill in enough information for us to give you the correct steps and actions. A screen like this will come up and we will ask you to correct. That's it. This is the screen you're going to be on all the time. This is the screen that's going to show you everything that you need to know about what your agent is doing for you. That's how Quigler takes you for a test drive.